I was waiting to the last minute. Hello. Welcome to Beyond the Shadowz podcast, brought to you by Haunted Souls Paranormal. I'm Dan.
I'm Maddie.
Welcome. It's February 20th, season 2, episode 6. I was just making sure. I was like, 6, right?
He waits literally to the last beat of our intro and goes, "It's episode 6, right?" And
Yeah,
I'm like,
episode 6, right?
I was like, huh? I already got my headphones on and everything.
I was trying to earlier. I was looking to see, because we're coming around our 1-year anniversary from starting the podcast.
Holy cow.
And I was looking back on like YouTube and everything and trying to find, we didn't start dating or saying our dates. Because if you watch our podcast, like our first podcast, which is, it's not on YouTube. I don't think it's not on YouTube. Is it podcast? X is not on.
Villa.
No, X.
Oh,
X
it
was
should
our,
be on there.
X was our very, like, it was kind of like our first one we did was like a test run. And it was just me, Doug, and Zach. And I think it's funny is that we were in the basement then.
Right, that's where I live now, but.
Yeah, we were in the basement and stuff. So
sitting on the couch and everything.
Yeah, so that had to be that Tuesday around there was like the 28th, February 28th. Because our original live first actual podcast season 1, episode 1 was live at McIntyre Villa with Stephanie, and that was March 9th.
Which should have been the week. That should have been a weekend.
Yeah, we had events.
But then we were like, "Hey, this is the only episode we're having on the weekend." Or next.
Yeah, we had it on a Thursday, which was the March 9th.
Yeah.
Of last year. So I don't know if we celebrate next weekend or in 2 weeks.
I don't know. That's maybe the date that we actually
we'll do it like a giveaway. We'll do like a special, I don't know, some kind of shirt giveaway.
Yeah.
We'll think of something. Let's do it in 2 weeks. It gives me 2 weeks.
It'd be like a Beyond the Shadowz podcast shirt, maybe.
Yeah. It'll be 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks to work on it. So
yeah, we'll do 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll do 2 weeks. So that will be the March 5th episode.
Okay.
The March 5th we'll celebrate our 1 year because it'll be the 9th.
We'll take a little streamers and pop it off.
Because that's the one you leave. Oh, you won't be here.
I won't be here March 8th.
March 8th or the following one. When's March 8th?
I miss a podcast.
No, you missed one podcast.
I missed one podcast. Holy cow. You have to do it alone.
Now I'm going to have to bring a special guest. I'm going to find someone.
Okay. I go on vacation, so that's why I'm missing it.
I have to bring maybe I'll bring Kenny down.
Do it. Kenny. Oh, gosh. That'd be fun. First comment of this week is Lauren. She says, "Hi, everyone. Happy HSP Tuesday." I like that.
She is HSP every
Tuesday. Week. Kathy said, "Hi, I made it."
Are you having pizza?
Kenny, third. There you go. You should have Kenny on. We talk about. I don't think he's ever. Maybe he could talk about his business and.
I have no clue. I don't know what I'm gonna do that week.
Mm-hmm. Jeannie said, "Happy spooky Tuesday."
Hello, Jeannie.
Brandon, hello. Hey, evening, guys. Sorry, I cannot speak. And then Susan said, "Hey, hello."
So, what's up? Going on?
A little catch up. I am not feeling good.
Cough on cue.
Cough on cue. Been not feeling good for the past 3 days?
Yeah, I guess.
3 days.
I don't know. You live in the basement.
I live in the basement, so this is actually my first time out because I had school off. So, but it's warm. First of all, we had a big snowstorm
last Friday,
and then today it was really warm, like snow's all melted and everything.
Yeah, there was no. We got like 4 inches Friday.
Yeah. No one saw it coming.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, it's just going to be on the grass. Nothing on the streets. The streets will melt." Man, that place was crazy Friday. Took people hours to get home and stuff. It was.
Let's just say I have a 15-minute drive to my campus, and it took me 45 minutes to get home. And that's going back way. That's not going on the highway. So it was pretty big, but no, it was. And then you had an investigation.
Yeah, we could talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah, I was at Mineral Springs on Friday.
Yeah.
this weekend I'll be at
Rhodes
Rhodes.
Hotel.
We all heard from Mike a couple weeks ago on the podcast.
Yeah.
He was on from Rhodes Hotel. I'll actually be there and stuff. So with my paranormal possum family and other lovely girls I used to work with and guys and stuff. So
Yeah, that's kind of stuff that we'll kind of talk about at the end. Kenny said, "Dan, this is that new Stanley mug wrapped in 100 souls." Dan flexing. Oh,
actually, that's from Jeannie on here. Jeannie Lamb.
Yeah.
She busted me out the big old Stanley. Yeah, that's my version of the Stanley and HSP.
Yep.
Actually, I've had this since before Christmas.
Yeah, I'd say like got it.
Yeah, I've had it before the whole Stanley craze started jumping up. I think she got these right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah, you can actually, if everybody's interested, we could actually sell these. But I'm not buying a bunch of them to waste.
Lauren said it should be pink.
Oh my god.
I agree.
I asked Jeannie. I think she can do it in pink because this is green.
I got a pink cup. I got a Jeannie baby.
Yeah, this is green. Can you do it in pink, Jeannie?
But with that, we have a guest this week. We didn't have a guest last week, so that means this week is our guest week.
Yep.
So with that,
we'll bring on Becky.
And she can introduce herself.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Right. So you want to tell everybody who you are, how long, what you've been doing, what you have?
Okay. Well, my name is Becky McKiddy-Gydesen, and I am the owner of Tucson Ghost Company out here in Tucson, Arizona. I am also the founder and lead investigator of Tucson Ghost Society, and I also host a podcast called Everything Under the Moon on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
Lovely. So how long have you been doing the paranormal?
Professionally for 10 years.
And what got you into the paranormal?
I've had experiences my entire life. So that's why I say professionally 10 years, but my entire life I've had experiences.
Yeah.
What kind of experiences you had when you were younger?
Well, I grew up in a haunted house, actually.
Okay.
So I lived in Toledo, Ohio, and the house I had lived in at the time was built in the 1800s. And it was just one of those houses that was old and creepy, but I knew not to go in certain areas after dark. I always felt like something else was there, like I was being watched, things like that. But I didn't have any major experiences there. I found out that my suspicions got confirmed, I should say. After I moved out and I had lived in Tucson, I had reconnected with the person that had bought my house. And they told me about all the paranormal things that would happen because they would stay in those areas that I didn't like going to after dark.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, as a little kid, and we kind of talked a little bit before starting, being sensitive, kind of walking into a house and being like, I don't like that area. I don't want to go. Like, you know, I used to be home alone and I'm like, you'd run past like the bedroom or something like that. You're like, I don't want to look at the bedroom. Like, as a little kid, you think, oh, it's just my imagination. But then when some people start telling you paranormal things, you're like, oh, so I wasn't just a crazy kid. There was something there. So
yeah.
what kind of wanted you to, what was that kind of extra push to start ghost tours with that company or with your company?
Well, when I was an adult, I had actually moved back to Toledo for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I lived in an apartment at that point in time that was also haunted. So like I said, it's been experiences my entire life. And it was when I was in that apartment that I had my first major experience. And that was with a picture on my wall. It actually flipped. So the glass, fell out of the frame, broke. The picture was out of the frame on the floor, all scratched up from the broken glass. But the frame itself was still on the wall. And you could see like the little hooks that you hang up the frame with.
Yeah.
So it was flipped and it was crooked. And I was like, how did that happen? You know, and I always
Yeah.
kept telling my ex, I'm like, something's here, you know, something's off about this apartment. It's haunted. And he kept telling me, oh, it's your imagination. It's not haunted. And then that happened. And I was like, okay, that confirms it's haunted. But my ex kept saying I was crazy. And so I kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
But my curiosity started building more and more because I had learned about my old house, you know, that it was truly haunted, you know, that picture. And then I would go to places like Birdcage Theater and I would have experiences that I didn't know were experiences at the time. I seemed to sense things other people didn't sense, all kinds of things. And so my curiosity was really up, really high, but my ex just did not believe. So after I divorced him, you know, a little bit later, I met my current husband. And it was just so funny because we were flipping through channels one night and I saw the show Ghost Hunters. And I asked him, I'm like, oh, can we stop? Can we watch this for a minute? And he's all, yeah, sure, whatever. And so we were watching it. And like after the show ended, I was just like in awe because I was like, people talk about this. People do this stuff, you know? And I kind of sheepishly like asked my husband if he believed. And he actually told me he had an experience once when he was a kid. So that kind of made me feel better. Like, okay, I'm not insane. People do this stuff. And I went on a hunt to do a ghost tour. I wanted to do one. I wanted to get more info. I wanted to find books. I wanted to do everything. And it was when I went on a ghost hunt that the business was just kind of thrown in my lap, quite honestly. I never expected to own a business. In fact, at that point in time, I was in college taking zoology. And it kind of fell into my lap. Everything kind of fell into my lap and it just kind of took off from there. And I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. I've noticed that a lot lately with like paranormal getting so huge lately. And I've noticed like for us, or at least for me and him, like paranormal has always kind of been around and we've always known about it. But I feel like once people like now it's more normal to be like, oh, paranormal. Oh, because it took those couple people to come out and be like, hey, it's normal. This is real. And everyone's like, okay, so I haven't been crazy this whole time.
Well,
Exactly.
it was like so taboo. It was like how we talk when back in the days when we go to these places and people say they've seen like ghosts or aliens or things like that. People said you're crazy. For like psychics is a big thing. Psychics never really said anything or mediums because people just thought they were lunatics or crazy, you know, and just not, you know. So paranormal, just I guess within the next 10 years or so, it's gotten really a lot big. I don't know. I've been doing it for like 5, so
Yeah.
I don't know how big 10 was, if it was very big back then. Now it's just
skyrocketed.
Everybody has a paranormal group, everybody, you know, and it's saturated on, you know, on TikTok and everything like that. So it's really taken off now to where, you know, it's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely talked about a lot more now. And, you know, back when I was a kid, I was basically always told, you don't talk about these things. You know, this isn't something that's discussed. And my grandmother, I lived with my grandparents when I was growing up. And my grandma was like really sensitive. And so she would talk about, you know, how she would be visited by, you know, spirits in her dreams and things like that. And she, you know, would say things about our house too. But, you know, even my grandma who had witnessed these things and would, you know, experience them, even she would be like, yeah, we don't really talk about this stuff, you know. So I was raised, you know, in this environment of knowing that things were going on, but, you know, also told you don't talk about it. It's not something you talk about because people are going to think you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, you know, it was like that for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, because when you had
when I was a little kid, I saw his dad, my grandpa. I saw my grandpa, and I had never met him before because he passed before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him, and you were like, you instantly believed me as a little, like.
Well, I had experiences when I was younger, but
Yeah.
like you said, it wasn't never talked about.
Right.
So you really didn't. I grew up Catholic, and in the Catholic beliefs, I mean, we have one of the biggest. The Exorcist is one of the biggest things that is around, and it was done by Catholic priests and here in St. Louis. But as a Catholic, you never talked about spirits.
Mhm.
You know, there's no ghosts, there's no spirits. You go to either heaven or hell, and you know, there's no walking amongst the land and stuff. So you didn't really talk about it a lot when I had experiences when I was younger. But like when as you got after you, it was like what 2003 and stuff like that. Then it was okay. More of the shows were coming out and different things were coming out, so it was more sad and believable.
Right. Yeah. I was raised Catholic too, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I was forced to go to church every day. It was a pain in the butt.
I went to a Catholic school, so we went to church once during the week, and then on Sundays, of course. So.
Yeah, I went to a Catholic grade school and was church every day from 8 to 8:30 Monday through Friday.
Oh,
and then during Lent, like which is now, we'd have Stations on the Cross Friday afternoons and stuff. And always art class was Friday afternoons, and we missed art, and the art and gym would be the two things that we'd miss and stuff because of Stations of the Cross. But
at least my school wasn't that bad. We didn't go every day.
Yeah, we had to go every day. It was a pain in the butt. That's when I graduated, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, I ain't going back to church. Like, I did enough church in my lifetime. So you went to this ghost hunt and kind of had the company was kind of thrown in your lap there. So
yes, the lady that owned the ghost hunt that I went on, she had actually wrote a book, and I had bought her a book. And as I was reading the book, she had mentioned the Tucson Ghost Tour. And I was like, right away, like researching that, because when I went to research ghost tours and ghost hunts, I didn't see anything in Tucson. And so when I went and I researched that, I couldn't find it. So I emailed her and I said, in your book, you mentioned the Tucson Ghost Tour. And, can I ask what happened? Why aren't you running it? Because I want to, take the tour. And she emailed me back, and she's all, well, to be quite honest with you, being, because she lived in Bisbee, she goes, I can't drive there to do it. And I, lost my really good employee. They left. So I have no one to run it. And so I was like, hello, I'll run it for you. I'm like, I love talking to people. I love ghost stories. I'm like, I will totally do it. I have no issues doing this. And she kind of made the comment to me. She goes, well, to be quite honest with you, I don't want to run it anymore. She goes, but I will sell you the rights and the website and everything, and it can be completely yours. And I was like, okay, well, I know nothing about running anything, this is not what I planned on doing. So I discussed it with my husband, and my husband, being the supportive guy that he is, he asked me one question and one question only. And that was, will this make you happy? And I sat back and I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I think it will. And he goes, then buy it. So I went ahead and I bought the rights to it. Next thing I know, I'm like freaking learning the script and going downtown and going to all these haunted buildings. And everywhere I went, I tried to introduce myself, to let them know what I was doing, because I wanted to be respectful. And I got more like stories, and I got more input. And the next thing I know, I'm getting like phone calls going, oh, you have to check out this place because we're haunted too. And we want you to add us to, your tour. And one in particular was called La Cocina at the time. And I went there, and as soon as I sat down to talk to them, they were like, oh, you need to start doing ghost hunts here. You need to come in here and do ghost hunts. We'll let you do that. And so the next thing I know, not only am I doing the tour, but I'm doing ghost hunts. So it just kind of like skyrocketed. It was like one thing after another.
Yeah.
And then what was really funny was I was doing this for maybe about a year, 2 years. And I got an email going, hey, I want you to be on this podcast called Mysteries Explained. And I was like, okay. And, I'm like, do you want any information about me or anything first? They're like, no, just come to the studio. We want you to co-host. And I'm like, okay. I went to the studio. I co-hosted the show with this guy for 2 episodes. And then he goes, okay, it's yours. And I was like, okay. And I am not technical. Technology hates me. Everyone knows this that knows me. And so he puts me in the studio with all this freaking, equipment, and he's like, okay, the show's yours. And I'm like, what button do I push? I was like totally lost.
You're like, can I get a podcast host
Can I get
101
a
here?
technical advisor or
I'm
something?
I'm sitting here going, I don't know what to push. I don't know what, because it was like a serious like studio type thing. And I'm like looking at all this stuff and I'm like, I'm going to screw it up. I'm going to delete things. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I called in someone that I had met named Dave to co-host with me to help me navigate through all of it. And we both screwed up together, but it was funny. And then we switched it to a different network and went online. And during like right before COVID hit, Dave had left the podcast and I did it with my husband for a little while. And then we were just going through a bunch of changes and things. And so right before COVID hit, we decided we're going to take a break. And then COVID hit and it was like, yeah, things just got insane. So of course, my company got shut down for that year and, the podcast went bye-bye and all that stuff. But when I came back with the podcast about a year and a half ago, I decided to change the name to Everything Under the Moon because I kept saying we never explained any mysteries. We always got off subject. So we changed the title of it to make more sense.
You're like, there was not a lot of mysteries. Let's people are gonna get a little confused when they click on the podcast here.
So have you bought a lottery ticket? I mean, you've had companies just kind of just fell right into place for you. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I wish I was that lucky. I wish, but no.
Well, you got a ghost tour, then a ghost hunting place. How many more people do you have now? Now, it's the whole company does the ghost tour? Does it do the tours and is it all ran under the same ghost hunting and stuff?
It's all under the Tucson Ghost Company, yeah. But
Okay.
each one has like a different name. Like the walking tour is the Tucson Ghost Tour. The one that's at La Cocina, which is now known as JoJo's, it's called the Tucson Ghost Experience. And then we just recently added 2 more places that we are doing weekly. And that is in Tombstone, though. So we've moved to Tombstone and we are doing things with Hotel Tombstone and Undertaker's Espresso Bar.
Tombstone's cool. I can't complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a lot of activity there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think there's a time that we go down there that we don't get something weird that happens to us. So
now they still have the little town, right? All set up. Is it like a ghost town or is it active?
After 5 p.m., it's definitely a ghost town. All the shops, because they have Ellen Street. And so they have all like the tourist things going on. And I swear they all close down at like 5 or 6 p.m. And the only thing open after that is like a couple of restaurants and a couple bars, and everything else is closed on that street. So it does turn into a ghost town after everything closes.
Now the OK Corral's down at the end of the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is cool. That's where
What?
The whole Wyatt Earp.
The Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. We went
That's
to.
why you're.
Yeah. Because
I was like,
last year we
why
went
do
to
you seem so
we
interested?
held
I
an
was like-
event at Dodge City at Depot Theater, which is the home of Wyatt Earp and stuff like that. His first, prisons there and all, his first jail and stuff. Before he moved from Dodge City, he went to Tombstone, and that's where pretty much where he passed away.
That's why your ears perked up when it's too.
Oh yeah, when he said
I was like, okay, why? Like,
I'm a big Western guy. I love the West.
Yes,
the Wild
yes,
West. So,
yes.
yeah, I would be definitely lovely investigating down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, what does your tours entail? Like your walking tours? Like what is?
The walking tour is of downtown Tucson, which does tie into Tombstone, by the way, with the whole Wyatt Earp thing, because one of our stops on the walking tour is the train station. And that's where Wyatt and Doc and the people he was with killed Frank Stillwell. So that was at our train station here in Tucson. So there's some history that ties into Tombstone there. But we go to about 9 different locations, and we, tell the ghost stories and the history, things like that. That one I'm trying to hire people to run because with doing the ghost hunts, I don't have time to run the tour too. Because the ghost hunts take all my time right now. And I would honestly rather do a ghost hunt than, walking around telling the ghost stories. I would rather live it than tell them.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, yeah.
Are your ghost hunts overnight, or are they just from like 8 till 2 or 8 till midnight?
Right now, what we do is we run them for 1 hour at Hotel Tombstone and Undertakers, but Undertakers also has a 2-hour one. And we can also do private ones, which you can pick how long you're in there for. So we kind of have it to where, you can do just a little thing if you're not into it, and you're just curious. You can do a little bit longer, or you can book a private session and, do it for like, I think we have it as the minimum is 4 hours and the max is like 8 hours.
Oh,
that's kind of cool.
nice.
Yeah. Whenever we get down to Tucson.
Yeah. We're gonna have to just make our way
That West Coast area there.
Yeah. We'll go there when we go to California eventually, maybe one day.
Yeah. So other than like JoJo's calling you, like when you do your ghost tour, do you get people calling all the time, like add us to it? And then how do you determine whether do you just base off their stories, or do you investigate yourself actually?
We investigate ourselves.
So if a new person wanted to come on the walking tour, you would investigate that building yourself to add it?
Yeah, we would ask to. Yes, we would ask if we could, go in and check it out ourselves. In fact, when I started the tour, like I said, I was given a script. And for the most part, I think we have investigated every building except for maybe 1 or 2 that's in that script. So basically everything I changed the script, and it's basically things that I or my team members have personally experienced that we put in it now.
So like that's what I was trying to ask, because if people ask, well, how do you know? You're like, this is exactly stuff that we've experienced, and and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool.
There's only 2 buildings, and those came from reliable sources though. One came from a judge, so I really don't see a judge making up things. And then the other were people that I knew that work in the building. So I found them to be pretty reliable.
I think so. I mean, especially like going to like these paracons and all that, you hear stories. And I've noticed that lately is like people, when they tell stories of like police officers, very much like high authoritative jobs, and they're like, they came in and were like, there's a demon here. I'm like, I believe that they were seeing something there. Like, if a cop is coming in and like you said, a judge, like if a judge is saying this is happening, I don't think he's gonna lie.
Yeah. I would hope not,
Yeah, especially a judge.
Yeah.
I love that whole demon thing. Everybody thinks it's a demon,
especially new people.
Yeah, people that don't know the paranormal and stuff, they're like, oh, this thing closed my door, it's a demon. I'm like, that's not necessarily true. I'm like, is it scratching you? Is it being mischievous? Oh no, it pretty much leaves us alone. It just closes doors or turn off lights. I'm like, that's just a normal spirit. That's nothing demon.
Right.
They're like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, there's a difference. Because everybody just thinks, I guess everybody says it on TV that, demons here and demons there. So.
Oh yeah. I think TV definitely influenced some of that, and a show in particular, but
yeah,
we agree with you. We're not fans. So I don't think there's too many fans. He does have too many fans left. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's one that I always. It's so funny because when we accept, residential cases, we have a form that we ask them to fill out before we go into their home, because we want to make sure we're safe. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure that they're, okay, and all this stuff. And one of the questions on the questionnaire is I do ask if they watch paranormal TV and what shows do they watch. And I have made a connection to, if anyone tells me they have a demon in their house, this one show they watch.
Always.
It is.
Always.
It is.
It is. We get people at Paracons and stuff when we do festivals, and they come up and they're like, "Oh, do you watch, Ghost of It?" I'm like, "No."
No.
And
you know what's so funny? It's like, like your job, like me working, like it's our job, so we don't ever watch ghost stuff, like, or like we do it almost every weekend. I'm not gonna watch it my weekday. I'm not gonna watch my job.
They'll ask us, they're like, "What TV show do you guys watch?" I'm like, "I don't really watch them."
Yeah.
I don't, because I do it all the time, and to me, I'm like, check the thing over here, and I'm always wanting to debunk their stuff, and I'm like, but
we watch enough of our
not
footage.
saying they're all fake. I'm not saying that.
All right.
So,
we watch enough of our footage that's enough of a TV show for my weekly thing.
Reviewing, paranormal stuff, it takes a lot of your time, and I don't think a lot of people that don't do this realize how much time it actually does take up.
That is the most boringest thing to do.
Yeah, it can be.
Sit there and just watch it. Like if you got a camera on a REM pod or a cat ball or something, some kind of equipment, you're just like, just light up, and you're just sitting there for hours watching it.
Well, and here's the thing: we investigate for like 6 hours, so we usually have at least one camera just on something
on a central location that no one's at, or whatever, just to see if we catch something.
And we'll sit there and 2 times speed. Just sit there and watch it.
I just sit there and watch it just to see if anything different comes. And so, of all those places, I'm going to ask now, since you have your own little, of all your buildings and stuff, and your walk-in, your hunt, your ghost, what is the most, I would say, creepiest story out of it, or the most scariest story out of all those?
Let's see. I got to think.
And then we're going to do one that you've been outside of the United States. Or not outside of Arizona. Yeah. Of Arizona.
I was going to say, I haven't been out of the U.S. to do this. I wish, but I'd love to go to Scotland. Oh my God, I would love to go there. But I have done things outside of Arizona. When I went back to Toledo, I got to do the Toledo Yacht Club and the Collingwood Art Center. Both of them have been featured on TV. And then when I went to California, I got to do the Whaley House. That was pretty cool because it was just me and my husband with the employees because we paid for a private ghost hunt. And so it was just like, there's 2 employees. So there's just 4 of us in the Whaley House. So that was pretty awesome. I didn't have like too major of an experience in there though. I did get touched, but I don't call that a major experience. And we saw like lights flicker, but my husband had a door open on him. So he had like the, visual more than I did, but he's the skeptic, which I find funny. But I did enjoy the Whaley House. Collingwood Art Center, it's huge. I didn't expect it to be that huge because when I lived in Toledo, I never really went there. So it was really big, and that was interesting to investigate. But basically, I've stuck with Arizona, I think. That's where I've done most of my investigations.
And what's been the most creepiest or most freaked out moment? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say that there's so many, but not that I get like scared, but I think the one that I'm doing at Undertakers has been the most thrilling to me, in all honesty. At Undertakers, we have seen shadows. We have heard footsteps. Just this past time when I was doing one of the public ghost hunts there, somebody wanted to kind of leave the one area. So I followed them out and I kept my co-lead in there to finish the ghost hunt. And while I was out in like the espresso bar area, just talking to this guy, we heard like this loud slamming of a door. And so I thought for sure that some guest was coming out. So I got up to investigate. No one got up. They didn't even hear the door slam. So it was only me and this other guy. So that was really interesting. And we still can't figure out why the other people in the room next door didn't hear it, but we did.
I saw him. Yeah,
you
I
see
said,
that?
yeah. He came. He got
okay.
down knee to like crawl.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I was sitting here watching her, and then all of a sudden, just on the side, I'm like,
It was my husband. He
I
came.
was like,
He
did I
came
just
in
see
the
something
room.
move on her wall? I'm
I
like,
saw he noticed that he was like she was on
He
the computer.
crawled
So
and he like was tickling my feet. So I was like,
Uh,
stop.
yeah. I was like, I was gonna wait for her to talk, but I was like, did something? I was gonna ask you, did you see that? Movie?
Yeah.
A shadow
No,
or whatever.
it
It
was
was my husband. It wasn't a ghost. It's my husband, Will. He used to do all this stuff with me. See, there he is.
Hello.
He used to do all this stuff with me, but lately he's decided not to do this stuff with me anymore. But he, as you can tell, he's one of the pranksters. And when he used to do the investigations, he liked to scare the team members. So he would hide in corners and wait for them to come around and then like jump scare them. One of my co-lead left a recorder in one area of an investigation, and he like took off his shoes so no one would hear him walking, and he walked up to the recorder and he started talking into this recorder, and I never did find out what he said. But he's the prankster.
Murder everybody in this building.
I'm following you home.
Yeah. It's funny because I did that to Lauren's her recorder this weekend at Mineral Springs. I picked it off the floor and I started talking into it.
He's the prankster to me all the time.
We have no jump scares. That's a rule for us. We can't jump scare each other.
No, but that doesn't stop you from scaring me.
How do I scare you?
You've done it a couple times.
What do I do?
You'll
Just
turn
stand
Yeah, just stand there. She's scared of her own
That's what he
shadow.
would do. He wouldn't even try sometimes. He would just stand there in the dark and wait for someone to walk by. And he would just be completely quiet, not even say anything. And he would still scare us because we didn't know he was standing there in the complete darkness.
Yeah. It's even gotten worse. I get more scared now.
You get more scared with me because I
my right side of I have no like peripheral vision to my right, so I don't see people walking up on me until they're on top of me. And it happened that Asher Walton, I think, Arena come walking through the dining room, and I'm sitting in the recliner there, and I didn't see her, and she's scared. I about peed my pants because I didn't see her walk in and stuff like that. But
I think at the most I ever got scared though was that when we go to
when you did
Missouri
your
State
solo run and Ashmore,
when we go to Missouri State Penitentiary and you're walking through and there's a group there's a guy just sitting in a cell and you're just walking through and you look in the cell and he's standing, you're like, ah, jeez. No flashlight. You're like, ah.
that happens a lot there.
That happens a lot there. So I know you mentioned was it Scotland that you like that's the one place you could go and investigate outside of the country, that's where you would go.
Yeah.
What's your one place in the country that if it all costs covered, everything, if you could go and investigate that place, where would you go?
Are you paying? No.
I'll pay.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Yeah.
If it costs you free to go, airfare everywhere. If it costs you free to go, what would be the one place that you would want to investigate? That you want to investigate?
I would say it's a toss-up between Waverly and the Ohio State Penitentiary. Because I'm from Ohio State, so that kind of makes me want to go. But I've heard so many crazy stories about Waverly, so I think it would be a toss-up between those two.
Waverly was pretty good. That's a big place.
Yeah. We went there. We didn't have, it was like a quiet night when we went there, which that's what a lot of people say. Either it's really crazy or really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go spend a weekend at Waverly. Like that would.
Yeah, because I think when we do for sure, because you go into these buildings a lot. So, and it's kind of like we have a place here in St. Louis that I helped the lady out that owns this building. It's haunted. And she was just like, oh, here's your key. You can come, investigate anytime you want or whatever.
Right.
And once she gets it up and running, we'll probably be doing their ghost hunts and stuff like that, kind of like what you do and stuff like that. And it's kind of like our home headquarters. And we've gone there a lot to investigate. Mm-hmm. And I feel that when you go to a place, the spirits start realizing
who
you are. Like
Mm-hmm.
they see you come around a lot, so
Yeah.
your interaction and your activity amps up some when they see
Yeah.
you and stuff like that. So you get that a lot because you're hitting the same buildings every weekend, or I don't know how long your ghost hunts or
Weekly.
if you do it every weekend and stuff. What?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a weekly.
oh yeah. Just
Yeah.
so I feel like when you go to these new places like Waverly,
Yeah.
if you don't go with someone that you know, just for like one night or something, sometimes you just don't get nothing because, and it's what I tell people when we hold our events. What happens if you get out of the shower and you saw 12 people in your living room? How are you going to react? You're going to run back to the other room.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like you're not going to want to, and you have to warm up to those people.
Yeah.
And like you say, if you're there for a whole weekend, by the second and third night, they kind of.
Well, you can spend, like, for us, like, we were just amazed to be there. Like, it's just a well-known, like, it was just amazing that we were just exploring.
Yeah.
We wanted to see the whole building. So
Right.
I mean, a couple of times we'd sit down and investigate, but I would like to go. That would be one of the one places that I feel like we never really fully got to investigate to its potential.
Yeah.
That would be the one place I'd like to go back.
It was
to
my
anyway.
son's bucket list, and we like wanted to see everything. So when you sit
Yeah.
there, it's like fishing. When you sit there, you have to sit for a couple hours or an hour or so to try to get something.
And that building's huge, and you can't. If you want to see everything, you can't do that.
I mean, we got the janitor guy in the bathroom going.
Okay, that still is to this day so unexplainable.
We call it the zipper ghost.
Okay.
We were on the 5th floor, and it's all nothing. And there's a bathroom on each side. One was like for the children's ward, and the other one was like brain tuberculosis. And it's really cool. I mean, you've seen pictures of the children's ward. They actually had a playground on the rooftop. They had 6-foot high fences, both
Right.
up all along the
I hope
edge.
so.
Right. And they have pictures of like a swing set and playground up on the roof. And that's where the children that had tuberculosis, they would go outside to play there, and they wouldn't take them all the way because they were on the 5th floor. Well, each of them have their own bathroom, and we would walk up, and I walked up to the bathroom, and I heard it sounded like somebody going to the bathroom, had keys jangling, and like they were standing at a stall. And I called her over, and we were like, "Hello," and you hear like a zipper, like zzz, and like keys.
It was to the point where we were worried it was a human.
I thought it was, but the bathroom was like. The toilet was all smashed. You know what I'm saying?
And we weren't allowed to use it.
Yeah.
So we were worried that, like, because we were with the group. So we were like, okay, like, we don't want to get in trouble. Who's in there? And then I was like, did someone sneak in? Like a homeless person? Like, and I was worried that there was a human there.
And there was nobody there.
Yeah,
And I was like, we call him the zipper bathroom ghost. So
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Waverly is a good place.
Yeah, Waverly is a good place.
I don't think I've ever. You're the first person though to say Ohio State.
Ohio State Reform Penitentiary or Reformatory?
Either one.
Those are two different. I didn't know if there's
Ohio State. That's like major because of the fact that that's my home state.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just love to go back there and be in Ohio pretty much, just not during the winter.
Yeah, that's like us in that Midwest Valley there, where that's what it's kind of like for us for Missouri State Penitentiary. We have one of the biggest 47 bloodiest acres in Missouri, and next to Alcatraz, it's one of the on the West Coast, like the West Gateway to the West. It's like the most popular prison that there was, and that place just holds its own name. It's pretty creepy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, what kind of equipment? What's your favorite piece of equipment you like to use?
In all reality, the only one that I really rely on is my recorder. We use other stuff, but with doing this for so long, we have definitely learned that each piece of equipment has a downfall. So I don't always trust the equipment. So I like my handy dandy recorder because that's where we get most of our evidence is through the EVPs. So
what if you could use any kind of equipment, what would you like to try? Is there something out there that you're like, man, I really would like to try that?
I don't know. They always come out with, the newest, latest, this and that.
True.
I honestly don't know if there would be really, I'm always wanting to buy new stuff, but probably like the what is it? The Connect, the SLS or whatever.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have one with my computer, but I don't have a portable one. So it would be a lot easier to have like that where I could walk with it. But I even know that those, have their downfall too, because we've caught, them making stick figures when nothing was there, and we figured out it was because someone left the screen too fast. So
That or like, and that's a big thing. Like when I was talking about some of these shows and they use this equipment, and like what's really bad with the SLS, it'll map a corner of a wall or a pole, and it will think anything that looks like a human, it will map and put legs and feet on it. You know, and everybody's like, "Oh, there's a ghost there." I'm like, "No, there's nothing there. It's just a pole."
Or like a chair, and it looks like someone's sitting in the chair. I'm like, but the legs are right where the legs are at.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
mapped out the chair to think someone's sitting there and stuff like that. But now, I mean, I have an older one that's portable, but now they're coming out with these new versions of these SLS. And I guess it's supposed to be taking away the mapping of that way. I don't know. I haven't read up on them too much, but there's another version of it out now.
No, I haven't heard about that one. But what are you saying, Will?
Also,
come here. He's trying to give his 2 cents, but he's like in the background, so I can't hear him.
they'll map out reflections too.
Oh, okay.
So if they say there's something shiny, like a picture frame or something, and it picks up somebody's reflection, it'll map it.
Oh, okay. Good to know. I've never known.
That is good to know. Something else to look out for.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like
I don't even bring it that much anymore.
No.
We don't get it out so much. It's
Yeah.
like, so you got to put it together, put the tripod, put it all, know. And I'm like,
it takes a lot of work to set up. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, and then you don't get nothing on it that day or nothing. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to bring it out. I've noticed that I just put it on a tripod and I just let it sit there and people can walk up and look at it and stuff like that. I don't try to, walk around with it and stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
Anything
Well,
like that.
Will's the one that he like tests out all the equipment. So he works well, right now he's an RV tech, but he's done like construction, and he knows how to do electrical things, mechanic. He's good at stuff like that. Yeah. So when it comes to like the equipment we use, he can pretty much say, okay, this is going to make this go off and all this stuff. So that's, how we've learned a lot of the downfalls is because he'll play around with it and find out, okay, well, the K2 is going to go off around your Wi-Fi, that type thing. So
correct.
Yeah. That's good to have, because I mean, we're people also that like something goes off, we're like, okay, what could it be? Like before we're even like, yeah, that is a spirit. We're like, okay, what can it, like, we're trying to prove it's something like we're trying to prove ourselves wrong.
Yeah, it's like we try to, like if the
we're our
tripwire
biggest
goes off,
skeptics.
I'm
Like we're like,
okay, it will be laying on wires. Is there? Well, no, the building has no electricity, so okay, that eliminates that. There's no electrical currents coming anywhere, for the EMFs and stuff like that. How far are the phones away? How far, how far is everything else away from everything?
I feel like it takes us to have like intelligence. Like if the spirit's really intelligent with the equipment, we're like, okay, like we kind of are like, if we can't debunk it and then it's intelligent, we're like, okay, it's working, what it's supposed to do. But I feel like the times that it's just not very intelligent and we're like, like, yes, it could be, but we're not 100% sure. So it definitely is to have somebody that sit there and go, oh, that's why it's doing this, or this will set it off. That'd be. Maybe
you want to see if there's any questions?
Yeah, I can.
For someone being sick, she's off with Chatty Lot tonight.
I know. I haven't talked all day. I saved my voice for today. Jeannie said, absolutely could do pink. Jessica said, I made it. She's on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, gee. There we go.
Hello. Gina said, hi, friends. Hello.
What's going on, Gina?
Jessica said, Tombstone is cool. That stuff shut down so early, though.
So I'm guessing there's been the Tombstone.
I'm guessing. Billy said, what's good, fam? Hello. He's from California.
He's our West Coast follower.
Yep. He said Tombstone. Yep. Lauren said, if you hadn't warned me you did it, I probably would have freaked out.
Oh, when I talked
about the
into
voice recorder. Yeah.
Ghost recorder.
See, he's a trickster.
I told her.
Hey. You know, she would have been like, Dan, did you do something?
I
was talking to my shop manager today about the reformatory. He used to do a lot of work in and around Mansfield. Interesting place.
Oh yeah, Brandon's from Ohio.
Yeah. Mansfield.
It's a fellow Ohioan.
Oh, yeah. I said, whoop.
Chuck.
Hello, Chuck.
Texas in the
Monica
house.
said,
Monica.
what's up, guys? The Stanley Cup for sure is a representation. And that is, I'm all caught up with that. See, I can catch up.
You can catch up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what, I'm trying to think what is like the most, if a person came up and is like, I'm not a believer, what is a one piece of evidence that you've kind of, or is there a piece of evidence that you're like, well, let me show you this, or you hear this, or, whatever, to be like, and they kind of step back and is like, oh, is there a piece of evidence that you kind of always show people who don't quite believe?
Well, it's been my experience that you're never going to change a skeptic into a believer. So I can show them things, I can have them listen, but they're always going to try to come up with a logical reason, of course. But one of the things that I love to show people, and this was actually featured on the show, what was it? Fight. What was that? It's with the Jack Osborne and the Ghost Brothers. Fright Club. That was the name of it.
Okay.
It was actually featured on that show. It is actually where a shadow is seen behind me. And trust me, when it came to the shadow, because we don't get a lot of visual, we get more EVPs than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to the shadow behind me in this restaurant, we spent, I would say, 6 hours trying to debunk this. I mean, we were just nonstop. Where's this team member? Where's this team member? Is anyone casting that shadow? And what finally made us realize that we couldn't debunk it was the fact that it disappears down a hallway. So if it would have been a person, you would have saw the actual person go down the hallway.
Yes.
So this is something we cannot debunk. It is clear as day. I think it's even up on my YouTube, but there is a shadow behind me. It actually, because I'm sitting at a table playing cards, and it actually looks like it bends down to see what cards I'm holding in my hands. And then after it takes a peek at my cards, it like disappears.
Wow.
Yeah, that is like the most incredible, I think, visual we've ever received. And it was constantly behind me, and I could tell, but we did finally, actually catch it. I could sense that something was behind me pretty much the entire night. But that was the one time that we were actually able to catch a shadow behind me.
Wow. They usually don't. I mean, for our experience, they a lot of times don't like to be shown on camera. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
what did you just say?
One of the only ones.
Did you not just hear what I said?
No, I didn't understand what you were saying. A shadow don't like to be caught on camera.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, we have some shadows on camera. The one at McAteer Villa that pokes its head out around the corner.
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying, how many times have we seen a shadow and then go back on the camera and not seen it?
I see what you're saying.
A lot of times they don't. It's more times that they don't like to be shown than or seen on camera.
I just misunderstood what you said.
She understood. That's
all that matters. She's the guest. So it don't matter.
I don't care if you understand me.
Don't mind me. I'll just back away here.
Yeah.
I'll just roll out of the room.
Shimmy.
Yeah. Let you run it all by yourself.
That's when you can't explain it, going down that hallway and you're like, okay, where's this team member, this team member, this team member? You're like, that's.
Yeah, it drove us crazy because we thought for sure, okay, maybe someone's shadow reflected behind me or something. And, because we're one of those teams that we don't like to call something paranormal unless we know without a doubt we can't debunk it.
Yeah.
And so we spent hours and hours trying to debunk it. And we were like, keeping track of every team member, where they were and what they were doing. And we just could not debunk it. And quite honestly, that was one very interesting location, because that spirit that was seen behind me ended up following me home. So,
Oh, wow. So is it still at your home or is it gone?
it's gone.
Oh.
I actually, this is one of those rare cases to where I was actually, I think, and I hope that I was able to help this person cross over. So, and I think that's what they needed. So
That's I think that's the most scariest thing I have, like the fear I have. It's like something
being
following me
followed
home. Yeah.
happens to me actually a lot. So my
That
kids have experienced things. My husband has seen shadows in our house. So it does that to me quite a few times. So
Well, this isn't wood, but knock on wood. So far, it hasn't happened to us, and we're just gonna hopefully keep it that way.
it hasn't happened to my team members. And you can ask any of my team members and they will all tell you that they've never been followed. It's always me. So
It's bound to happen. It's gonna happen. I mean, as much as you do it and stuff, people, it's gonna have,
You know what? I just hope it's like the
So
little
speaking
boy.
of which,
No,
that
wait,
actually,
I just hope it's the little boy that like I played with at like Mineral Springs or something. Like it's a nice
so
one.
that kind of leads me into this question: do you have any rituals or any kind of things you do after you leave a ghost hunt to prevent that or anything like that? We have our own thing. We have.
right.
I don't have it around anywhere, but we have a spray that we made. It's called Booby Gone and stuff like that. It's sage and holy water and Palo Santo oil and frankincense and stuff.
Right.
And we spray ourselves and tell us they can't leave or you can't come home with us. You have to stay here and stuff. Is there anything that you do, or you just kind of get in the car and say, okay, good night, let's go?
Good night. Let's go. I've actually told my team members to do that. I've told them, tell the spirits they're not allowed to follow you home. Ask politely to not follow you home. And I tell them to do whatever they feel they need to do to protect themselves. Because we get all kinds of different religious backgrounds and all this stuff. So I tell them, whatever they feel will protect them, take it with them, do it at the end of the night, what have you. I personally do not do any of that. And the reason behind me not doing any of that is because of the fact that I am the most sensitive on my team. And especially when I'm trying to help a client, I want to be able to experience what they experience. So I don't want to close myself off to things, because if they're actually truly experiencing something, I want to experience it too. And when it comes to being followed home, if I get followed home, it doesn't bother me unless they start to do something that bothers my children, and then my children complain or get scared. Then I will cleanse my house. But otherwise, I've had a spirit follow me and stay in the house for I don't know how long. And even my kids were experiencing things, and they started blaming the spirit for everything wrong that would happen.
That's a good thing.
You know what? Maybe I actually
he
want
left.
to follow
The
it.
spirit left. I think he got tired of being blamed for everything. So
Like, who ate the last candy bar? I wasn't me.
Hey, it was that
Him.
spirit that you brought home. Actually, you know what? I think I want a spirit following us home now.
so you can blame it for
I
everything.
can't be blamed for anything.
No, who made that mess down there?
Hey, when I came home, it was like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard
that's
that
what my
all the
kids
time.
started doing.
yeah.
He was like, "I'm not doing it. I can't take this anymore. I'm gonna leave."
And Will's
Yeah,
like, "Can
pretty
you?"
much.
Will, her husband Will be like, "Can you leave your work at home at work, please? Stop bringing it home."
Oh, that's so funny.
Just leave that stuff at work. Stop bringing your work home with you. And see, you don't do none of that. That's why things follow you home,
Yeah,
and not your other coworkers, because they do that.
they're all like, "Hey, go with her, not me."
Pretty much. I think that's what they do. They're like, before they leave, they're like, if you're gonna follow anyone, follow Becky.
See, I can't do that because I live with you.
Yeah. What's gonna come home?
Oh.
Let's see. What I guess we ask everybody, so we'll ask. So if you go to an overnight investigation, say you're gonna go for one for all night long, what is your go-to snack to have for your overnight investigation?
You know, I tend to take licorice with me. I don't know why, but that's like the one thing I take with me is Twizzlers. That's been like my go-to and every investigation. And I guess because it doesn't, it's not crunchy, it doesn't make a lot of noise, so it's quiet, and you can snack on it. So
I can tell you right now, I eat licorice, but I never heard myself chew it, especially when you're sitting somewhere so quiet. That's like, wow, does that really sound like that when you're chewing licorice? I was like, yeah, that's loud to me because I don't ever hear it.
Well, imagine chewing chips though. That would be even louder.
We're big on, like Abby, we're big on the chocolate licorice, the Hershey's chocolate, and everybody's like, ew, that's so gross.
I'm just not a big licorice fan, so I can't. It's not a shock to me that I don't like it.
Licorice is a good thing. That's a good thing.
I'm more of the chip person, but I don't eat my chips. Like I'll eat like maybe a little bit of the bag each night.
Yeah, but if we're eating chips or something like that, you're eating it in the break room or something like that. It's not nothing that we take out with us.
Yeah, you're the licorice person.
The licorice place I take out everywhere. It's in my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
And every time he's like, "You want some?" I'm like, "No, I don't want any."
I'm trying to be nice.
Hey, I appreciate it, but no.
Is there any other questions for her?
Let's see. Let's go kind of back down the list. Maddie had a shadow almost dancing so many footsteps behind her when we investigated the YMWCA. Yup. Philly said, I love the history of Tombstone.
Philly, I think we're just going to have to meet, get on there, man, and go.
You know what? We go to Arizona and then right down. There you go. Monica says, spirits are not allowed to follow you or attach to you if you state that you are not allowed to join or after leave the location.
You would think so.
You would think so. Lauren said, or you are me and just say, nobody except Penelope is allowed to leave.
That's the little girl that's attached to her.
Oh, so she has a little girl attached to herself?
Oh, I didn't tell you about that. Yeah, I'll tell you. We'll talk about that after.
Okay. That's something. And Kathy said, have you ever had a spirit attached to you, even if you told the spirit not to? Have you told the spirit not to follow you home ever? No. She's like,
she don't say it. That's why she hasn't followed home.
Yeah.
I just I'm like one of those people that I figured if the spirit is really inclined to wanting to talk to me and wanting to communicate, I don't really stop the spirit from doing it. So no, I've never said, don't follow me home. I think maybe once or twice I did when I was in an environment that I didn't feel comfortable in. So I said, you're not allowed to follow me home because I wasn't comfortable in the environment. But if I'm ever like comfortable in the environment or anything like that, then no, I don't bother because I figured they're not going to be harmful or anything. So it doesn't bother me.
You know, I can't say I would ever say that because my mother would beat my butt if she found out that we brought something home. We have to.
I think we already have something, so it don't matter anyway.
Well, okay, let's not talk about that because something happened the other night when you were in Mineral Springs, but the TV turned off. Out of YouTube in the living room. We were on YouTube and it turned off and went to the home screen and the remote's sitting in the middle of the console.
Oh, it does it.
It does that?
Yeah, it's just the app.
Oh, okay.
If the TV if the app just jumped out, then that's not no big deal.
Okay, I've never had that happen to me. So
oh yeah, it's happened. Oh, Netflix does it and everything like that.
I don't know. Something else is here though. But she said, "Yep," and Dan, it's just a dog. LOL. She just nothing else looks. It's just a dog.
She just thinks that the dog's spirit's here. That's all. You want to tell everybody how they can find you and where they can find your podcast, and if they're in Arizona or Tucson, come see you.
Yeah, well, I'm in Tucson, Arizona, so if anyone ever comes to Tucson, but TucsonGhostCompany.com is my company website, and TucsonGhostSociety.com is my team website. Everything Under the Moon. I have a Facebook page, so you can see us Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on that Facebook page. I'm all over social media, Facebook, TikTok, all that. And I'm always under this name, Becky McKiddy-Gydesen, or if you can't find that, it's under Tucson Ghost CO usually. But I'm pretty easy to find. So I'm sure if you want to look me up, I'm somewhere.
So your TikTok is Tucson, or is it under Becky?
It's under Becky McKiddy-Gydesen, but I think you can also search Tucson Ghost CO and find me on TikTok there too.
Yeah, so everybody go follow. We'll have to go on there. We'll follow. Let's look for Haunted Souls. We'll follow you.
Oh,
on TikTok.
I'm
trying to build it. So, yeah.
We have a group page, Haunted Souls group page. You can go on there. And if you're having tours or,
podcast
advertisement, anything, you can post on our group page.
Yeah.
That's all for people who join it to advertise whatever they need to.
Okay.
Yeah, just go on Haunted Souls Paranormal group page on Facebook and like that. And then
look that up.
Yeah, you can post whatever you want, anything that you got going on event wise or anything. Because, I don't know how far we reach is Arizona. I mean, have you ever, I know there's a lady in Arizona. I don't know where she's at though. I can't remember. She's in Flagstaff. I think she was. But her name was Athena and she's like a zombie type.
She's a zombie expert.
She's a zombie expert. She has Zombified podcast.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You have to check her out. She was on our season finale of season 1 of our podcast and stuff. And she was really interesting. I know that you guys are close, so she's in Arizona.
Right.
And stuff like that. So, and then just to let everybody know, we will be on your podcast.
Yes.
Everything Underneath the Moon. April 6th. Is that Thursday? Or 4th.
Let's see if I can find it real quick.
I know it's the beginning of April.
April 4th.
April 4th, yes.
Yep.
So
April 4th is when you guys will be on. So,
yes. So everybody remember that. Come watch us on there. Go on to Facebook and follow her Everything Under the Moon podcast and all of her social media and everything. Is there anything else you would like to say or promote or anything?
No, just check out my website. Like I said, I have I just started working with Hotel Tombstone and Undertaker's Espresso Bar. So those are my 2 new ones in Tombstone, and we're really trying to promote those and get those going. And I love Undertakers. I can't say enough cool things about the owners. They're one that just gave me a key and said, come investigate anytime. You don't have to even have a ghost hunt. So I love it.
Awesome things.
Yeah, I love that. I love it when they just hand over the key and say, here you go. And that's how it was with La Cucina too. They gave me a key and they're like, here you go. And I love that. I love when people do that. But I love Undertakers. There's just so many experiences I've already had there. And I've only been doing that for about 2 months now. And every time I go there, I swear I have an experience. So it's really cool.
They're getting to know you more and more.
Oh, yeah.
I thank you for coming on and being our guest.
Much. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you in
April.
In about a month.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. You guys have a wonderful night.
You too. Thank you.
That was
good. Oh, I was like, wait a minute, you bring that up.
I know. I have to
consider myself. Yeah. So if you're in Arizona, Tucson, if you ever want to take a vacation and go down there or whatever, go on and look up Tucson Ghost Tours. I want to go to Tombstone so bad.
I know. That's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Or if you're wanting to listen to another podcast, Everything Under the Moon is her podcast on Thursdays.
Yeah, on Thursday nights.
10
Eastern, 9 Central.
9 Central.
It'll be a late one for us.
It would. Because usually we get over at 9.
Yeah.
We can actually have dinner at a normal time.
So everybody likes our new setup. It was something different.
Yeah.
These are candles that we do sell. This is the frankincense and myrrh with the new labels and everything. Is that what you did? Was you put that on there?
Yeah.
You dropped that on the table. I heard a boom, boom, boom.
No, I didn't drop it on the table.
So I just wanted to try something new.
Feel more spread out than we normally do.
I do. I feel more comfortable and not so bunched up in that little area over there.
When you gotta think, we sit up like this for 2 hours. Like, it's nice to be able to go like this and sit on a table, like leaning against the table.
Would you put hands on here?
There was a couple times I had to move the candle because I thought you were going to burn your hands because your hands go out like this and the candle's like right underneath your finger.
No,
I was looking out for you.
So, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I can eat my marshmallow. I can roast it over the candle. Have s'mores.
That's a wood book too.
So Lauren was in Texas for a funeral.
Okay, so we're talking about the little girl. What was her name?
Penelope.
Penelope. Okay.
So Lauren was at a funeral, and I guess the lady behind her was talking to someone, and she didn't know the lady behind her. And if I'm wrong about this, Lauren, you can put up on there or what. But the lady had asked Lauren after the funeral if she knows a little girl that there's a little girl that's came and talked to the lady behind the pew from Lauren. Like she was talking to the lady, and she was attached to Lauren. And she said that, she was there with Lauren and that, she had believed she was a young girl. She drowned and stuff. And that she's from a place that Lauren frequents. So Lauren thinks that possibly she's from Mineral Springs because Lauren goes to Mineral Springs a lot.
Yeah.
But there's only been one known drowning at Mineral Springs. So. But I don't believe they said drowning. She said asphyxiation, though, correct? I think she said asphyxiation. So that could be a strangling or accidental hanging.
Asphyxiation.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
Well, I'm going to put it in or what it is.
You know what? I think that's the creepiest
But
way.
we were trying to talk to her at Mineral Springs, trying to see if she'll talk to her and stuff. But Lauren says she's just a little girl that she don't cause any problems or nothing. So maybe that's the things that were knocking the stuff off the shelf, Lauren. She was trying to play with stuff. She was checking things out.
What is it again?
Asphyxiation.
I just can't spell.
She can't spell.
Asphyxiation meaning. That's not. Asphyxiation death. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. So your body doesn't get enough oxygen. So suffocation.
Yeah, suffocation.
Okay.
So it could be
to the point of
lungs.
unconsciousness.
She said something.
It was hypoxia.
Hypoxia. Okay.
And it's so lack of oxygen, either drownings or strangulation, something like that. Okay.
Okay. So she might necessarily not drowned. She could have been strangled because I think they've only had one confirmed death, which is Clarence Carter. No, which is Clarence at Mineral Springs. I always think Clarence Carter.
Oh my gosh.
The other night I called him Chuck. Charles. So I thought it was Charles. And me and Lauren were sitting there and I thought it was Charles. And Abby's like, no, it's Clarence. I was like, oh, yeah, Clarence Carter. I always think of that.
I think that's like, imagine you just being somewhere and someone's like, there's a little girl attached to you. Like, what?
Like,
did she know the lady that?
No, she didn't know the lady at the funeral. So that's even like more like, okay.
A stranger
just comes up and says, hey, I was talking to this little girl that's with you. And she was talking to the little girl. Not Lauren. The lady was sitting behind Lauren was talking to Lauren's little girl.
So the girls just talk. Here's what
Lauren, you need to tell your attachment to mind her own business. No, I'm just saying.
And she may not be from Mineral Springs exactly. Maybe just local. Mineral Springs is like a beacon for spirits.
True.
True.
She just said it's something that you frequent a lot. So it could be in that area.
Well, I do.
It could be in your home. I mean, you frequent that a lot. Ooh,
well, I do know
it could be from your work.
I do know a girl who drowned in the Mineral Springs area.
Mineral Springs? You mean Alton area?
In the Alton area, yeah. Like, no, right by Mineral Springs Hotel.
If you say Penelope, then we all know that's her name.
I can't remember her name.
Oh.
But
I'd be interesting to see if it's Penelope.
No, I don't know her name. But it's from the...
Lauren, you should look that up. Any deaths in Alton for drowning named Penelope? Little kids.
Yeah. I know of a little
That'd be
girl
cool.
who died at the
What'd she say?
YWCA.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Monica. What was her name?
I can't remember.
Who's that?
I
I can't see much.
No, you're good. Chuck said long, dark hair and was very patient during the ceremony.
The little girl?
The little girl?
Penelope or the lady that was behind Lauren? Got me confused.
I don't know how the lady's just talking to her little girl like she's talking to nothing. Chuck said, I knew the lady. Oh, I knew the lady and the lady knew I knew Lauren. Okay, so Chuck knew the lady who saw the little girl.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Chuck said she could have been playing hide and seek and got stuck in something where she lost all access to air, like a chest or an old refrigerator.
Oh, now that's different.
Monica said, I believe her name was Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
It was for sure Elizabeth. Okay.
Okay, so no Penelope.
No Penelope.
Damn. We thought we might have had it there for you, Lauren.
But the hide and go seek thing.
Would that not have been cool if the girl that drowned in the YWCA was Penelope?
You know.
And she would have been right down the street from her.
Lauren said, I have
Nice.
tried. The medium said she's born from the 1932-ish, several syllable, long name, then started with a P, but Penelope is the name I got when I was investigating the doll at my house.
Oh, okay. So we're not necessarily sure.
Penelope is her name, but it started with a P.
Penelope is her name, but started with a P. What could be long syllable with a P?
Okay.
Petunia?
No. Okay, you want to hear my theory? If
Okay,
it's
you only
a
heard
long,
it from here. Here we go.
if it's a long syllable name, it sounds like a name like not like a. We don't have like American P names. There's not a long syllable one. So it might be not from a name not from here. I don't know where, but
Well, she was here. She had to be
well,
here.
yeah, but
Oh,
you
she
gotta
said she
think-
came across the boat, that she wasn't like a normal.
Yeah, which
Okay.
has happened a lot of times in Alton, was people came off the boat.
Oh, yeah, because it was right
river
there
right
off
there.
the river. Yeah. Look at that.
So-
She's scientific.
I'm scientific. I'm historical. But I think that's a total stranger coming up to you and being like, "There's a little girl attached to you."
Yeah, I mean, but the playing hide and seek thing's kind of, yeah. She got trapped in something and lost a chest or an ice
An old
box.
refrigerator, though. That's
Yeah, we have to look up. We got something to look up in alt. Any recorded deaths. She said she tried, but no luck.
Well, and if it's from the 1930s, they don't have any documents, especially if she was an immigrant.
Oh, I don't know. So, Minnow Strings was Friday. It was very quiet.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Did you try talking to the little boy?
Little boy. Yeah. Though we didn't go out in the hallway.
Oh,
Um,
that's the first.
we thought, though, at one point down in the basement, in the sub basement,
Mm-hmm.
we were getting some really killer cat ball action. And we were like, oh, man, this thing is going crazy. Because we had 2 flashlights set up on the floor.
Yeah.
And they were going off. And the cat ball in the hallway kept going off where nobody was even near it. And I told Lauren, I'm like, oh, man, this is getting some really cool stuff. And I said, why don't you switch it out? And Lauren switched the cat balls out, and she brought that one back and set it next to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay. And all of a sudden it started flashing. So it was either going dead battery or there was something wrong with it. It was just, we're like, oh, man, we thought we had something going on there. We didn't get much in Pearl's room. We didn't get a lot. It was kind of quiet that night.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Which usually we always hear at least footsteps or something.
I think Lauren said she was with Dustin down the hallway. I think at the other room, I think they heard something.
Mm.
We had some trigger, you know, they said I did the Delco goggles and did the spirit box.
How was that?
That was the same. Kind of closed my eyes. I always seem to want to close my eyes anyway. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing it, you like close your eyes to concentrate and stuff. But still, once again, the most weirdest thing to do is you randomly saying words. And you're like swan or spaghetti or stuff like that. And you're like, you know, and then you get out, you take the headphones off and they're like, oh yeah, you answered questions like You're like, how did I get a spaghetti question?
You're like,
What could possibly did you ask that got me onto a spaghetti question? You know?
What's your favorite food?
Yeah, I don't. You know,
And then if it says spaghetti, you're like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I had numbers, and Abby said that she had some very good responses. So, yeah, it was a one thing that I did. I don't do Estes too much, so
No.
yeah, it was very quiet.
Usually
we
you
were out
ask
there
questions because
we
you're
were out there by like 2:00, so we weren't there very long. We just did and stuff. It wasn't getting a lot of, which hopefully at the end of March, we're gonna have a public investigation there.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited to
Let's
see if I
look
can
up.
come in contact with that little boy.
yeah, that was pretty cool. I wanted to do it, but we didn't set up there.
Yeah. There's a little boy out in the hallway I know Lauren goes to Mineral Springs a lot. There's a little boy that hangs out in the hallway. It's right there, past
The umbrellas,
the umbrellas and that little
little archway heading towards like the stairs.
yeah, like right past the that hair salon.
Nope.
Yeah. That little archway there. There's a little boy that
it
hangs
could
out
still
there.
be that little boy that I saw my first apparition that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
The little dark haired boy with
He was really active.
knickers and white shirt. They're changing some things around there. I think Troy Taylor's having an American Odyssey museum there now. Dave's
wow.
moved his museum out of there. I think Lauren had posted it on her page. I saw that before the podcast and stuff. I think there's new owners of the Mineral Springs, so I don't know what's going to happen. Because some new people are going to buy it, so I don't know if they're going to allow ghost hunts there anymore or what the deal is going on. So March 31st, we have it, so we'll see what happens.
Might have to soak it all up then.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, they might want to redo the upstairs and make them into rooms for B&B and.
Or if they like the way the apartments are going, then they might put in apartments. You don't know.
So might be one of your last few chances to get to Mineral Springs. I don't know. We'll have to ask Dave. Dave will be on the week of that, March 24th, maybe 25th. I don't know.
I'm awful with dates. I don't know why
that
you keep
weekend
asking
of
me.
the last weekend before the 31st, the last Tuesday. We'll have Dave. He's a kind of a historian guy, knows a lot about Alton and stuff. So you can ask all your Alton questions.
Yeah.
And everything. And that week. Next week is the 26th.
We don't have anybody.
It'll be
27th.
next week's the 27th.
7 days.
Yep.
Today's the 20th.
Next week will be the 27th.
Do we have anybody?
No, I don't think we have anybody.
Think sus.
I don't know. I have to look. I don't know if it's us or not, but I'm going to Rhodes Hotel, so we can talk about Rhodes Hotel this next week.
Yeah.
ISS is up on Facebook as an event. If you guys want to look, check out ISS. It's going to probably be our one time only going there. I don't know. MSP's up there. Hall of Waters is up there. That's in Kansas City in the middle of March, to the KC Metaphysical Fair in Kansas City at Harrah's Casino. So far, I'm going by myself
To which one?
to the casino because you're out of town.
Oh, is that my vacation?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what everybody's
Sorry.
yeah.
Guys, I'm going to miss a podcast and a casino. Man.
No, not a casino. You're missing a fair and a ghost hunt. A casino. You're not even old enough to be in the casino.
No.
And stuff like that. So yeah, please support. Come on out, buy a ticket, come out to the fair, see us. March. That's our next event after me going to Rhodes this weekend. Will be March 14th, 15th, and 16th in Kansas City at the Harrah's Casino. Hall of Waters Ghost Hunt, which is really cool. It's going to be a new place. I've never been there. And then March 30th, 31st, here in St. Charles, KC Metaphysical.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's coming up in March. That will be, the ghost hunt will be at Mineral Springs. It's supposed to be a good turnout. I've heard a bunch of people say they're going to come, but until you buy that ticket, man, I don't believe anybody. So people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come." I'm like, "Okay, I'll see you buy the ticket," and stuff like that. So, you can read those if you want.
Lauren said, "I need to go to the library and look up newspaper articles."
There you go.
There you go. But who has time for that?
True.
Miss Google over here. Alto YMCA was Elizabeth, according to the Google search, 1936.
Was
Huh.
when Elizabeth died?
When Elizabeth died.
What's Elizabeth's middle name?
Huh.
Google.
Google.
What's
Google.
Elizabeth's middle name?
Lauren said it was really quiet. I think the snow scared them off.
Yeah, it could
Could
have.
have. Well, nothing too. I don't know.
It changes the energy, maybe.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really cold there either inside there. Like the
wasn't-
sub-basement was like really weirdly warm.
Oh.
It wasn't even cold.
How was upstairs? Like
I wasn't cold at all. Like I had
Well,
a pair of jeans and a.
You're not normal. What to the normal person was it cold?
You have to ask Lauren. I don't know.
We always get warm. So, Monica said, "Quiet night in Mineral Springs. That's shocking."
Yeah, it was. It was definitely.
Yeah.
It was quiet.
Lauren said, "I did do assist for once. It was weird." Yeah. Lauren, the past times that I've tried to do it with Lauren, me and Lauren have tried to do it double Estes before, and for some reason hers just would not work every single time we tried to do Estes. But yeah.
Yeah, she didn't. She wasn't even in the room. They were trying to say other words.
Yeah. If they put apartments in, it would be so haunted. LOL. Yeah, there was already apartments
on the first floor, but if they put apartments upstairs, then there's nowhere for you to investigate.
Yeah.
You'll be stuck just in the pool in the sub basement.
Yeah.
In the lobby.
Those apartments are probably already haunted. If they put apartments in, I'm so getting one. There we go. Lauren can have an apartment upstairs. We can investigate downstairs.
Lauren be like, "Can I have Pearl's room corner?"
She'd be like, "I want that one." Ms. Google, oh Jesus, she said no middle name given. She says, "Is that the place they don't like you, Dan, at Mineral?"
Yeah, they don't like me in the sub basement.
They don't like you.
Yeah, the sub basement always. I only do the sub basement once and once only.
Yeah.
Me and the sub basement don't get along, but it didn't bother me too well. In there, I didn't have no problems. We did like census and stuff for a while, and then and stuff. We didn't have nothing. Nothing that said. I don't think we had. I think we had like the Ovulus and the Spirit Talker open, and we had some stuff that came across there, but nothing towards me or anything like that. So nothing mean.
Yeah.
So.
Lauren said, "Meat and Pearl can be roomies."
You would be. You definitely would be.
She would have a whole room. Like if it was like a 2-bedroom, there'd be Lauren's room and then Pearl's room. They're like, "What room is that?" So like, "Oh, don't go
Lauren
there."
would just have a haunted room.
She would. There we go. Lauren can just have a whole shrine of haunted stuff in that room.
Yep. That's what I want.
That's what we would love to have.
But that can't be until I have an office.
Yeah, away from our house. I don't want work following us home.
We're gonna get an office in like a strip mall and like haunt all like Domino's and Little Caesars and insurance companies and shit.
Domino's like, okay, I don't know who keeps calling, but it's a ghost.
It's a pizza delivery.
It's a pizza delivery.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my gosh. They'd be like, whoever came down here, those paranormal people, get them out.
Some guy walked to the wall. Can I make a pizza?
Who are you?
So yeah, that's March. April, of course, is the ISS is the big thing in April. ISS and Fowler Theater.
Sorry.
That's all we have in April. April and May, or I was kind of leaving it open for some other things to happen in St. Louis, but I don't know.
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, got some things in the works. Hopefully, so we'll see. That's pretty much. So, Hall of Waters, get your tickets. Mineral Springs, get your tickets. ISS, big place, huge place.
So
it
excited.
will not disappoint.
No.
I'm telling you, it's only like a 3-4 hour drive, but it will not disappoint. You'll want to go back.
I mean, you don't ever. I mean, you're not the person to be like seeing things or like feel things. They like repel. Like you're a repeller, but you've seen tons of stuff there.
Yeah, I've seen 2 apparitions. Well, I don't know if the doppelganger is an apparition or a mimic.
Yeah, it's like a mimic apparition, basically. I would say.
I'd tell the weird story. The weirdest story I've had at ISS. Now, even during the daytime, it freaks you out just to walk through it during the daytime. And what makes it even more like weird and creepier as ISS is that it sits up on a hill of a property of nowhere. Like the only thing that surrounds the sanitarium is Amish farms.
Is it like one of those creepy movies that you see like the house on the hill and like you?
Well,
look
you
up
don't
from
even
the...
see it. Like when you'll pass it on the highway. Like it's got a little sign that says Indiana State Sanitarium, and if you don't know where you're turning, you'll pass it. And you turn it, and you have to drive up this wrong road, and you make a left, and you go to like this first building, and it's like where the kids' ward was, and that's where the owner of the property, he lives there. There's a trailer for the guy that lives there also, and then they have rooms. And right now, they used to be the only room that has. It's the only building that has electricity. And then that's where we usually have our snacks and everything. Well, then you drive back up this little road. And it's got a huge building, and it used to be the superintendent's home. So now they're changing those into hotel rooms so people can stay, on the property and stuff. Because there's not a lot of places to stay around there. There's a prison in town. There's no jail winery that we're staying in, and it's a prison. It's a jail cell that's in the tour.
That's like the place we're sleeping at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the place that we're sleeping in.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
But it's an old jail, and then you actually
haunted?
get a prison. It's a jail cell, like with a bed and stuff. Yeah, it's an old jail.
Is that haunted?
I don't know.
We're not gonna find out because we're gonna sleep.
But yeah, so you go up, and there's a big superintendent. You go up the road. There's a couple buildings on your left that the nurses and the doctors stayed in, and then you keep driving up the road and driving up, and then you see the laundry room where they did the laundry and the storage. And then you drive up some more, and you see the back half of the one part of the building, and then you drive up, and then boom, you're up on this hill, and there's a big 5-story building. There's a big building in front of you that has 4 wings of a nursery home. There's a huge administration building, and it all attaches, and it all runs through indoors. And there's no electricity whatsoever up there.
April?
Yeah, there's no electricity. Like
we have to bring. Be too bad.
We have to bring like lights, like our stick lights and stuff, to work the sign in and for snacks and stuff like that because there's no electricity.
Extra batteries.
Yeah, you have to bring extra batteries and big chargers and stuff like that. But that's
bigger than.
That's a creepy place.
Bigger than my university campus.
Yeah, so I was doing a
human pendulum?
No, not a human pendulum. I was doing a rotation. Sorry, I couldn't think of that word. I had a group of people up on the 3rd floor of the. Actually, it was the third or 2nd floor of the building that has 5 floors in it, and we were sitting out, and we had everybody out in the hallway in the lobby, little area type thing. So it was up on the 3rd floor, and. One of my ex-coworkers, she didn't know she was a medium and stuff like that. She never really told everybody she was a psychic or anything like that. And I didn't know for the longest time. And we had put people in the rooms, and we were just kind of sitting up there and letting people, feel their senses or whatever. And the lady told me, she was like, hey, tell that guy to go in that room right there. And she asked the guy, she's like, do you feel that you always have to, impress your father, do things to make your dad happy? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, the person that's in that, the spirit that's in that room feels the same way. And it's telling you that you don't have to. You know, you don't have to feel that way. Your dad's, you know, and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, and everything. So we were standing there. I was like, hey, should we play, you know, some music? Let's get the live floor, you know. I was like, everybody kind of pick something, you know, weird or whatever. And unique, something different. And someone had said, I don't know if it was Beth or him, but they said, why don't you do Mary Poppins, Chim 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 Chiroo? So I was like, okay, that's different. So we played, you know, Chim 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 and everything. Yeah, and it's kind of creepy of a song anyway.
Okay.
In a dark place. Yeah, you know. Because he talks about like the leaves, the moon blow at the beginning of the song. Yeah. So it's kind of a creepy song. And so the time switched and everybody's leaving. Everybody's like, all right, come on, we gotta go to the next rotation. And the guy that was in that room came to me and was like, hey, can I show you something?
Oh, I know we were talking about that.
And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm like, what do you want to show me? And he pulls his sleeve up, and this guy has a Mary Poppins tattoo on his arm. And it is just, to me, that was just,
first of all,
so weird that it was Beth that said it, play it. And she's the side, you know, the coworker. And she said that song just came in her head. And it was so weird that a grown man would have a Mary. I can't say weird, but it's not common. It's like he had a Mary Poppins tattoo on his arm.
It's like if he had a snake or like a tiger on him, I'd be like, okay, it's a coincidence. But a Mary Poppins tattoo?
Yeah, he had a Mary Poppins tattoo, and that song was picked. So that, to me, that's intelligent. Like we were talking about intelligent stuff. That's not. I don't believe in places like that. That's coincidence. That's just way too coincidental.
In a prison. And you're talking...
in a sanitarium.
Or a sanitarium, not a prison, sorry. But just like, it's not... Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a creepy place. Like, people's clothes are still hanging in the closet. Their personal items are still in dressers and sitting things.
Is this the place where, like, in the kids' place, like, there was just crayons and still colored
stuff?
No,
it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not like the kids. Well, yeah, like the rec room still has board games and all kinds of shit.
See, that's when it looks like they up and left.
Yeah, like the administration building has family photos on people's desks and shit. Like, there's patient files laying around. Like, these people just got up and just left, like, everything.
Do you know why it was closed down?
The state condemned and evicted everybody.
So literally, they just
they told everybody to get out.
They literally had to set up.
Most of the patients that were there were then either put back to prison, was given a bus ticket, so they let crazy people just go walk the streets that they didn't, because they didn't know what to do with everybody. Some went to nursing homes, some went back to jails, and some went to institutions, and some
these people who were like confined in like these places that like take medicine, everything, just had to go back to daily life without.
Yeah. I mean, there's still food trays. They don't have food on, but there's still food trays and cups, crayons and coloring books, and all kinds of stuff that's still just left there.
I'm excited.
Yeah, the one room that has the guy's clothes that are still hanging in there is like, and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely VHS tapes laying everywhere, because I guess that's where the patients watch. They had TVs and stuff. There's a video, thanks to Lauren, that's up. I'm gonna post it on TikTok. It's our advertisement video. You don't have it. Oh, it's on there if you want to pull it up. It's under downloads. I
have to download it to here.
Oh.
I have to upload it.
It kind of shows. Well, can you do that real quick? I don't know. It shouldn't be that long. It's only 15 seconds. It's in the downloads. See if we can get it up here real quick. It's kind of really cool. It kind of shows you. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Hold on.
But shows you like how the things are just sitting there still. Like the one picture she used in the video is like, it looks like somebody's room that has a chair and a TV.
Yeah.
Sitting there. That's just creepy. Yeah, I always feel that place is just creepy, and we get crazy vibes and apparitions. I saw the old lady walking down the hallway. Saw the lady, and it's funny is the two apparitions that I have seen there have been seen by other guests. I wasn't the only one that's seen them. Like the Josh coming out of the bedroom, the doppelganger coming out of the room and walking down the hall.
Yeah.
And Josh poking his head out. I was like, I'm still in here. And the lady's like about Peter Pan standing next to me.
That's going to be me. I'm about to be my Pan.
And then the lady that was like, oh my God. And like she was like traumatized that she saw some guy standing down at the bottom of the steps in administration in a suit. You know, it wasn't like a guy that was supposed to be there. It was some guy just standing in a suit like they would work in an administration building. And it has a morgue. It has tunnels. It has a death tunnel where they used to take the dead bodies from the morgue.
Can you go down the death tunnel?
Yeah.
How, like, okay, compare to Waverly Hills Sanitarium.
It's
level.
not very, it's not down a hill either.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's level. Then it goes out to the street. So it goes away from the hospital so they couldn't see you.
Oh.
So the morgue is in the administration building.
Yeah.
In the basement. And then you go out through the door of the morgue and make a left, and that's the death tunnel.
Oh, okay.
And it's a tunnel that leads to the street.
So they
would put the bodies and stuff that patients wouldn't see.
So it's most likely they rolled them out and not like Waverly that you think that they're just shot them down.
Yeah, they actually had to push them out. But, you know, it has bats, and that's Abby's favorite tunnels, is the bat tunnels.
No.
Here's a video for everybody who wants to see.
Props to Lauren.
Good video. Props to Lauren.
Props to Lauren.
Yeah. So that hairdresser place that's at the end of the hallway, that's still there with all the hairdressers and the air dryers and stuff. There's a snack. There's a snack bar area that still has like how much everything was, like a bar of soap, candy bars, everything.
Wow.
There's a chapel there that still has the original organ that's pretty much trash because of all the rain and the roofs that weren't bad through there, but it's like just it got up and left.
You know what? Not props to Lauren anymore. She said most solos is the death tunnel. What? No. You know what?
That's not even I would do the death tunnel in the heartbeat. That's not even the scariest place. The last building you showed, the 5-floor building, that building freaks me to shit out. I don't like that building. That building there. The 5th floor was for arsonists.
Because if they
the 4th floor was for males only. 3rd floor was females only. And then the bottom 2 floors were co-eds and stuff. And that's where I saw the doppelganger. But that's the other thing. I've seen a doppelganger in that building, the old lady in the nursing home part.
So you've seen an apparition.
And then the guy in the administration building.
So every single building you've seen an apparition.
Yeah, in every building, all 3 different buildings. I haven't seen no one in the superintendent's building, but you can't investigate that now.
Yeah.
Because of they're changing into
hotel.
Into rooms and stuff like that. But
you know what? I'm gonna stick Lauren in the nursing home place, the nursing building.
The nursing station's pretty active.
I'm gonna stick Lauren. That's where Lauren's doing her solo. Lauren said maybe I'll finally see an apparition this trip. Maybe. If not, I think we're gonna see one of their.
Another thing too is another thing in there that's creepy as stuff is that it was shown to me the very first time I went there. There was a closet in the hallway, and they had said that they had cleaned the floors and everything, and there's bare footprints in that closet.
Nope.
And you can see the footprint, and it's bare, like they're bare feet. And like the person that cleaned it said, who would walk around here in bare feet? Why would there be bare feet? Nobody would come up there in normal human, not like bear. Like they're not an animal. They're a footprint of a human. Look like little kids.
And which building?
That's the main when we walk in, like the main part that we walk into.
Oh.
The cafeteria, the eating area, the dining room area.
Lauren said deal. All right.
Deal. You don't know. You don't want the nurses station. That's the easy. That's open up to everything. That's in the middle of everything. I'm gonna have to find you all places to go do your solos.
Oh, great. No, I'm excited.
Your solos will probably have to be done before we get the event.
Oh, for sure.
So it might be somewhat daytime, but it's still creepy as shit
Oh,
there
I
in the
bet
daytime.
it is. I bet it is.
It still freaks me out to walk around that place in the daytime. It's because it's on a hill. There's nothing around.
Yeah.
Everything else is woods.
Like if you hear, like that's the thing. If you hear something outside, you're like, the only other thing it could be is an animal.
Yeah, it's just woods.
Like if you hear crunching outside and you flash, like, you know what I mean? Like before, like other like there's stuff going around. So when you hear stuff like outside, you're like, oh, it's just outside. But now you hear something outside, you're like, what was that? Like you have to question it now. Of okay, was it an animal? Was it not?
Yeah, because they have had some animals in the roof, like the possums and raccoons,
Yeah.
walking in the roof.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it is the woods.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to explore.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get in. There's not like doors are locked. Like anybody can drive on that property and get in the building.
Oh yeah. Well, you've had it happen where.
Yeah, we've had an
Humans.
event where 2 people showed up.
You know
Two
what? I
kids.
think it's safer to be in the middle of the day doing our solos.
There's not gonna be nobody that's gonna. You're not gonna know because everybody else is gonna be there too. So that's what I'm saying. During the day is a little bit better for your
Yeah,
solo.
I think we should do our solos during the day. But
Everybody has to buy tickets to come see.
yeah.
Come check it out. See how scared Maddie's gonna be that night after she has to do her solos. If we don't sell enough tickets, we can't have the event. I have to have enough tickets to pay for the event location. So get out there and buy tickets, people. I'm manifesting it, trying to put it out there in the earth. Heidi's doing a spell, ticket
A
spell.
spell.
Yeah, she's trying to see what kind of spell she can do. I gotta sell tickets. Gotta make this company grow. I know. I do support. I do appreciate everybody's support.
Yes.
It's not like no one's sharing the on Facebook. Everybody's shouting it out and
Yes.
sharing it for me.
We
I greatly appreciate
yes.
it. I know it's a tough time. Maybe people are waiting for their tax returns. I don't know. But
Everything is really expensive nowadays, so understand. It's just
this might not be a future thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
we'll see.
So
Everything's meant to be happen for a reason.
I don't know. But we thank everybody.
Yes, we thank everyone showing their support,
Yes.
coming every Tuesday
every
and listening
Tuesday
us,
to come listen
which
to us.
I still don't understand why you want to do that on your Tuesday nights, but
It's my radiant beauty.
sure.
It's our new setup.
Sure.
You can buy our candles online.
You know what, Dad? Whatever makes you sleep at night.
There's a frankincense and myrrh. We
It
have
smells really
sage and cypress. And we also have soap now, too. We have a cleansing soap and a grounding soap.
Uh-huh.
So check us out. Our first fair will be in March.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I don't know. Like you said, we're going to celebrate in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
March 5th. Maybe we try to get a guest on next week. And then we talk on the 5th.
Yeah. Are we supposed to have a guest on the week that we're maybe if we have a guest on the week that we're supposed to talk our celebration?
Well, the
we'll
next
just
2
move them-
weeks we have nobody.
Oh.
So I'm saying
I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Maybe we do a guest next week
next
again.
week. Yeah.
And then the 5th we did our celebration and we talk.
Yeah. I think that's good. We'll have happy birthday signs everywhere.
Happy birthday.
Happy anniversary, sorry.
Happy.
Oopsies.
Speaking of birthdays, happy birthday, Kenny Brown. Kenny
Kenny
Brown's
Brown.
birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kitty Brown.
Shout out to Kelsey, my middle daughter. Her birthday's
Yes.
tomorrow. Happy birthday, Kelsey.
My sister.
Yeah, her sister.
She's turning
29?
29.
No.
29.
29?
Dad, 29.
Okay.
I'm turning 21. She's 8 years older than me.
All right.
29.
Hey, man.
Hey, he's losing count, man. You're losing count.
Shout out to Chris. Oh, Chris's birthday was this weekend, I believe.
Chris.
Heidi's Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah, Christopher. His birthday was this weekend.
Yes.
So
Birthday.
shout out to him for his birthday.
Kenny Brown says thanks.
Kenny Brown.
What, Kenny Brown? You turned 23?
Kenny Brown, whip his ass tomorrow in bowling.
Oh, you play Kenny tomorrow?
We play Kenny Brown tomorrow. Jessica, are you bowling tomorrow? Is
You
she
know-
even on here? She probably went back. She probably had to go to bed.
I don't know. But
Who's
Yeah.
Kenny gonna pull out of his pocket there to bowl with a bowl against us?
oh, Kenny. But yeah. What else? What else do we need to shout out?
Buy tickets. Come to the events.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Come watch us every week.
Yeah.
We'll do
Chuck says, "Damn, Dan, you're old." So am I.
Yeah.
Your youngest just turned 21.
Knocking on. Yeah, my youngest is 21. So
Turning 21. Not 21 yet. In September, I will be. Which, if you want to give me the biggest birthday gift ever, buy tickets to my MSP. It's a week before my birthday.
but yeah, if you want to go celebrate with Maddie, we'll celebrate Maddie's birthday at MSP for 21st. So
big 2-0 or 2
come out
1.
and big 2-1. Come out and buy a ticket. Come to MSP. Celebrate the birdie. Sorry, her birthday bash. We'll hold a birthday bash. It'll be MSP Haunted Souls MSP birthday bash.
You get a cake and have Haunted Souls on it.
We could do that. We get to celebrate with Andrew, Nikki, and Abby.
Yay!
And Nina.
I want to celebrate with everyone.
Lauren, Gina.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Kenny said she's asleep. LOL. I'm bringing in a ringer.
Yeah, you probably are bringing in a ringer.
Can we do a celebratory shot before the investigation? Yeah.
What's that? MSP?
Yeah.
We'll have to go to dinner.
Well,
Well, no, because she's not 21 yet.
We can.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
We'll
we
do it.
can.
Yeah, we do.
We can. She doesn't like cake. Cheesecake. Yes.
She said cake.
I said cake. Cheesecake
I'm
is
not
still a
making
cake.
I'm not getting a cheesecake with Haunted Souls on it.
I know.
Because you probably ain't going to be able to do that on the cheesecake.
You can
Just
do
take the
anything
cake.
on it.
Just take the cake.
I'll take a cake. I'll take the cake.
All right, everybody. I know you're tired of hearing us Babylon, so thank you, everybody, for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for our guest, Becky, for coming on, spending an hour with us. Go out there, share. Go on. If you haven't followed our TikTok account, go on Haunted Souls Paranormal. _paranormal. _paranormal, or go to Dan Klein, Incredible Hulk 13. That's going to be our backup account. I'm 300 away from getting 1,000 to go live on that account. Look for us Thursday night. This Thursday night will be on Paratalk at 8:00 on TikTok.
Yep.
It'll be live on us. We're actually going to be on as Paranormal Trio. They have like a podcast. It's called Paratalk, and we're the guests. So if you're not following us on TikTok, go to TikTok. It'll come up as our live. They put us first so everybody can see our live and everything. And we're going to sit around and talk.
Yeah.
And talk all kinds of funny things. I'm telling you right now, I can get these girls laughing because I've sat with them till like 6 a.m. on live talking with Brandy and stuff like that, and Will and all of them. So and Faye, yeah, no, shit, I can't think of her name now. I'm going to be in trouble. Alicia, and then shit, God, I can't think of the other girl's name.
Oh no.
Yeah, but we'll be on there Thursday. Come watch
Be
us
a guest.
Thursday.
You know?
Yeah, come on TikTok. Be a guest. Come on out and ask your questions. Just come and watch TikTok live. It'll be under Haunted Souls Paranormal. If you haven't followed our group page, go to Haunted Souls Paranormal group page on Facebook, and you can advertise, ask questions, post events you got coming up or anything like that. So with that,
you heard it here, folks.
hey, stay spooky all week. See you next week.
Bye. Guys.